chosen being, you Israelite, be a special people unto itself. All people that are from the face of the earth. YAHANNA. I came to taste truth, bearing my soul like Paul to Damascus. Now I'm on the block, wearing my robe to call on the masses to repent and turn back to the ways of the Most High. Federales in the midst of us, watching with close eyes, but they know the power in this word. And those dry bones, ages, they infiltrate us, but this is no rise. So I'm hearing no man, no evil come up against us winning, unless you're in the midst of sinning. Keep the commandments. You want wisdom? Seek understanding. Hebrew Israelites, you keep laws while planning on Esau. Educated, no tuition required, debate your top scholar. What's a chihuahua to a rottweiler? Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh, shot a rock and thigh. I.S.U.P.K, praise healers and cowards, dying thousand deaths till the 2/3 cast in a lake of fire. All because you hate the Messiah. Liars, your second death is eternal. The book of life, you ain't written in, cause you was never sick of sin. Wow, since a child going round on your sick spin. You was purpose for wickedness as a captive. That's why you still a Baptist, Protestant, or Methodist, Jehovah wickedness. Pentecostal, that's your testament. Seventh-day Adventist, non-denomination, no matter the title, still an idol, all abominations. Come on, Hebrews on the rise, and ain't nobody stopping the words of these prophets. Sit back and just watch us. Even we despise you, all you other heathens. We need you to know this. You gon' reap what you sowing. Side note to GMS. Why y'all hating on me, placing false accusations on me, making videos assuming I be with the Illuminati, bearing false witness, only proving you ain't God. Now back to my real brews, who showing love like the real should and real do. We stand united as a nation, we fighting the vaccination of false teaching to poison the minds of the lost sheep, and it's a tragedy. Our leaders like the Pharisees and Sadducees who happily practicing blasphemy like in the Maccabees. Sold us out the master's approval, lacking no scruple. Man, I can't wait till it's off of the head with you Judases. If only you could just measure the anger that's inside of me. For America's crimes and its current state of sodomy pushed on the people. God's chosen, hooked on this evil doing. I blame myself and them crackers that want to see us ruined. Just know the fire of Obadiah closing the chapter, exposing his bastard, then his death from explosive disaster, a nuclear thermal war. The whole world is see. Alas, the fall of Babylon, World War III.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Yahweh, Shemi, Yahweh, Shabbarakatah, to the Akim, and shalom, Yahweh, Shema, Al-Dam, Shemi, Yahweh, to the Akwafium. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West Harlem, New York, 125th Street, under Commanding General YAHANNA. And since 1969, we've been given the truth that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people are the true people that the Bible speaks of. I'm Precinct Officer of 50. Kashakawa, I have Precinct Officer of 50, Precinct Officer of 500, Dunya in the building, Precinct Officer of 50, Yash Allah in the building, and we have one of the brothers, young men from the world, joining us. Give it up for the Lord. Hey man, we back again, Israel, man. One more time, you know, Lord's still sparing us to get a little more time. We here talking about topics of, you know, what are we without the law? What we are without the law, we are the same as our oppressors. We are the same people as our oppressors by not following the law, by not following these laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments that the Lord gave forth to us. That put us to be the same way as our oppressors, the same way lawless America is. And we're following the same rules and regulations of them, which every time they place a law in place, they don't follow them. They don't follow any law that they put in place. They put a law in: if a man commits a crime, then he's subject to become a slave. Well, what about all these oppressors that's putting their knees on necks, and all these oppressors that's continuing to murder us in the streets? What about them? How come they're not putting into these slave concentrations camps, aka prison cells? Why aren't they suffering like we suffer? Because they still got the law in place that black men and black, Hispanic, and Native American men are only 3/5 of a human. So we're gonna go into some scriptures. We're gonna go, of course, we're gonna go into the scriptures, but we also got some topics, and we got some topics that we're gonna touch on just to prove these facts. But Yash, what you got for me?
Article.
Article.
Okay. All right, let me pull it up on the screen here.
Quickly, let's go.
16 missing children recovered by U.S. Marshals in the Philadelphia area.
How many?
16.
16 children. What color are these children?
Black, Hispanic, and Native American.
These 16 Black, Hispanic, and Native American children that the Lord happened to be with, that got recovered, when most times our children get kidnapped and we never found again. But they got these brothers got found, these kids got found. Give me more on this article, Barbara Shaw.
Come.
Great.
16 children considered critically missing were rescued during a 4-week operation that concluded this week, according to the U.S. Marshal Service office in Philadelphia. At least 4 of the recovered children were connected to child sex trafficking, the Marshal Service said on Thursday. Dubbed Operation Safeguard, the initiative began on February 15th when the U.S. Marshal Service Task Force took over 26 missing children cases at the request of other law enforcement agencies. The children involved are considered some of the most at-risk and challenging cases in the Philadelphia area. The Marshal Service said based on high-risk factors, including child sex trafficking and exploitation, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and medical and mental health conditions. Our hope is for a better future for the 16 children that were recovered, said Eric Gartner, the U.S. Marshal for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Our resolve remains steadfast in finding other children in peril. Deputy U.S. Marshals assigned to the Eastern District of Pennsylvania Fugitive Task Force led the operation along with personnel from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services, Bucks County Child Youth Services, the Philadelphia Police Department's Human Trafficking Unit, and the FBI.
You know, it brings me to think how many children go missing from other states. How many are not being found or not being rescued? Look at the children that's on the border right now in Mexico that's still in cages as we still speaking right now. They're still in cages. Why is it that these children are still in cages? Yet they say these children from, I guess you want to call it, terroristic acts of rape and molestation and sexual trafficking and things like that. But what about these children that's on the borders? What about those children that's being kidnapped from these reservations of the Indian tribes? What about those children that go missing every day and there's no number because the count is so high? Come on, we got to start waking up to what it is to have a law. See, they're lawless because they don't even follow their own law. They go for these criminals that kidnap these children. What about the criminal act of having these children in cages? What about that criminal act? Give me the scripture, Yash.
Okay. What's the precept, sir?
The last precept that you had. Deuteronomy 28 and 32.
Come.
Quickly.
All right. Just pull it up on the screen here.
Right when you get it.
Come. All right, here we go.
Good.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32.
Loud.
Thy sons and thy daughters.
Thy who?
Thy sons and thy daughters.
Thy who?
Thy sons and thy daughters.
Thy who?
Thy sons and thy daughters.
These are our sons and our daughters that's being kidnapped. These is our sons and our daughters that's on these borders. That's on this in this Mexican border that's still in cages. This is what's happening to our children. Go ahead.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Shall be what?
Shall be given unto another people.
Shall be what?
Given unto another people.
Every time one of your children go to jail, every time one of your children have to go into one of these foster parents, foster care, every time you give up one of your children, you're giving your children to another people. Look at right now in the communities that we have, the LGBT community. They're adopting our children. Look at some of these, what's the word I want to look for? These rich oppressors that adopt our children, and then they're treated like a pet, damn near. Come on.
And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
We long for our children. We long for them children to come out of them cages and not be, put in these harsh conditions. It's not that to not be raped and murdered and being used for sex trafficking and God knows what. We long for our children not to be in these prison cells. I got so many younger cousins right now that's in jail and a youth house. It's sad. And their mothers yearn and long for their children to be home with them. But instead, guess what? They're given to another people as slaves. As in the sex trafficking thing, that's atrocious. But this is what's happening in our community. And the reason why we having these problems and these issues is because we still refuse to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments and judgments of the Most High God. Go ahead.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
That should be what?
There should be no might in thine hand.
There should be no might in thy hand. We lost all grip on our children because of what? Because we're not following. Because we're not obeying the law, statutes, commandments, and the judgments. We lost sight of who the Most High God is to us. Go ahead.
That was it for that precept, sir.
Give me more of this article and then pull me up Deuteronomy 48.
That was it on the article for the missing children.
That was it with the missing children?
God.
I would like an update on that later. Go on to the next article.
A black man was found dead after he said white men were chasing him. His family wants a federal investigation.
Sounds like the same case that happened. What was it, Georgia? When the guy went jogging? That was Georgia? Or that was Georgia, right? It was Georgia. It was Georgia.
They shot him down.
They
Shotgun twice.
with the shotgun, right? The one that was jogging. It was Florida. This sounds real familiar. Go ahead.
The family of a young black father found dead a month after telling his mother he was being pursued and feared for his life is demanding justice in a federal investigation. Rasheem Carter, 25, was reported missing on October 2nd after his mother said he called the police for assistance before contacting her. Panicked that white men and 3 trucks were chasing him and hurling racial slurs, according to NBC News.
It's starting to be open now. Open season in these backwater towns and these small little towns is getting open season. You hear more and more about black men being chased down, men that's just jogging. These are working men, family men. They have children, responsibilities. You hear more and more that's happening because what's the cause behind it? Why is this happening in our communities? Why is it not protection amongst our people? You're calling the oppressor. You're calling the cops looking for help from an oppressor. We're being hunted. Go ahead, Yash.
Authorities found his remains a month later on November 2nd in a wooded area near Taylorsville, Mississippi.
Go Okay.
The Smith County Sheriff's Department released a Facebook statement the following day, saying that Carter's death was under investigation, but they had no reason to suspect foul play. His family, however, isn't convinced. During the press conference on Monday, Carter's family members and their attorney, civil rights lawyer Ben Crump, blasted the local government for stalling their investigation for over 4 months. They said they think he was the victim of a vicious hate crime. There is nothing natural about this, Crump said, NBC reported. It screams out for justice. What we have is a Mississippi lynching. Crump, who wants justice, wants the Justice Department to take over the case and launch a civil rights investigation, released images of Carter's skeletal remains on Monday. The attorney told reporters he believed someone detached Carter's head and spinal cord, which authorities allegedly discovered away from his body. Carter is also alleged to have been missing his front teeth from the top and bottom row.
So what that goes to show is that they tortured this black man. They tortured this black man before killing him. They tortured him and they decapitated him. Jesus, go ahead. There's more on there.
Come. Chief Tommy Cox of the Laurel Police Department dispensed Carter's missing persons report and said they took up the case quickly after his family requested help. However, Cox said Carter didn't contact his office before going missing. The Laurel Police turned over its investigation to the Smith County Sheriff's Department once it became apparent the case fell outside of its jurisdiction.
Give me the book of Lamentations, chapter 48. Chapter 4, verse 18.
Lamentations 4 and 18.
4 and 18. Lamentations 4 and 18. This is what happens when you lose sight of who the Most High God is. When we don't realize as people how we supposed to get together with one another and not serve not fall under the line of our oppressors and their way of life and their way of living, and then we get caught up in that, we lose sight of who the Most High God is, and then we stop following the laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments. And when you're not following the laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments, you're subject to all these wickedness of the world, and they come upon you, and this is what happens to you. This is what they do to us as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people. We're being hunted down. We're being hunted down by our oppressor. Even in the 2023, we're still being hunted down. It was just a case of I was just watching a movie. What's the name of this movie? Kiki, the girl Kiki. I can't think of her last name. She played in it. The movie where the sister, she didn't even know that it was modern time. It was the 70s, and she was working on a slave plantation, and her families was still working on a slave plantation, and she did not even know that she was enslaved. She happened to get free and break free and run through the woods, and she came across a highway, and the truck almost hit her, and the guy Common was playing the truck driver. He helped her and thought she was bugging out and thought she was crazy. The whole time she was in a world that didn't even know she was free. That, her family, her ancestors did not know nothing about free slaves. They were still in captivity. I'm talking about working plantations, and not just one. It was a couple of groups, and it was a couple of families. And this is what's happening still. We don't even realize it's happened to us on a right now level, in a what do we call it? A modern level of slavery. Ayash?
On a grander scale, you mean?
On a modern level. It's modern day slavery.
Right.
We're still being hunted down. This black man was hunted. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that he made complaints to the police, his parents. He saying, look, some people was trying to get me. And then a month later, they find his remains. He was hunted. He was hunted down. He was hunted down like long ago, we were hunted down to come put into slavery. But there's a reason for this. Read that scripture, Baba Kashaw.
It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18.
Read.
They hunt our steps.
They do what?
They hunt our steps.
They do what?
They hunt our steps.
What did they do to this black man? Go ahead.
They hunt our steps.
Read.
That we cannot go in our streets.
We can't do what?
That we cannot go in our streets.
This man can't be a regular working class citizen of the United States of America because they hunt his steps. They hunted him down like an animal, like he was like an animal. They hunted him down like he was an animal. And this is what took place. They decapitated this man. They tortured him first and decapitated him. And they got his remains. See if you can put that on the screen. They got his remains. They got the pieces of his remains, his skull. Can't use it. He's unalive. That's the right wording. He's unalive, and his skull is missing. The top of his skull is missing. What is going on? They do what?
They hunt our steps.
Read.
That we cannot go in our streets.
The cops is on every corner in the ghetto. Every corner in Jersey City, North, Patterson, go down to Trenton. The cops is on every other corner. They hunting our steps. In these backwater country town, these backwater towns, they're hunting our steps. This man has been hunted down. Hunted down. Go ahead.
Our end is near.
Our what?
Our end is near.
Our end is near. The time is up of this. The time is up. The Lord is calling to all his people to wake up and follow these law, statutes, commandments, and judgments. This is the problem that we have from the very beginning. Not having the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments. And because of that, because we broke the law, because we didn't want to follow the law, we've been put in punishment. We've been put on, and this is the Lord's punishment for us. And right now, we're living out our punishments. We're living out the days of the punishment. The time is near. It's almost up. All we got to do is follow the laws, statute, commandments, and judgments of the Most High God. Read.
Our days are fulfilled.
Our what?
Our days are fulfilled.
What does it mean that our days are fulfilled? Ayash?
Meaning that we're in the latter times and the time has come for it to be the end. If we don't hearken to the Lord, the end is going to come whether we hearken or not. But if we hearken, we have a chance to be in the Lord's favor when Christ returns.
You scratch and surface. Read that part again.
It says, our end is near.
Our end is near. What does that? Our end is near. That piece right there. What does it mean? It's like it, sir. Would you like to give it a shot? Go ahead, Ayash.
I mean, the time of our suffering and oppression is near its end.
Our time of punishment is up.
Okay.
The time of us going through is the law, statute, commandments, and judgments. This is the judgment. Our judgment is up. Judgment also meaning punishment. Our judgment is up. The time of our punishment is up. We done served out our time. It's the same thing of when you go to prison. The time is up. Your time is near. It's the end. But blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people, our people, are not gathering themselves together. They're not following these laws, statutes, and commandments. They're still under the oppression of the oppressors, meaning our minds are still warped. Walk out in your ghettos and see the drugs that's still being sold in your communities. Look at the children that's not following and obeying the parents. This is what's happening in our communities. The men are still being hunted down. You at traffic stops. The men are still being hunted down by men. They don't have horses anymore. They have jeeps and cars and trucks, and they hunt us down. This is what's happening to this young man. They hunted him down. Go ahead.
Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
For the end has come. The time is now. The time is now for us to wake up. The time is now to get back in line with the Lord and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments and these judgments. Go ahead. It's more on that article. After that, give me Deuteronomy 48 through 50, Barbara Shaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, which supports the sheriff's inquiry but is not actively investigating, said Carter's autopsy was completed on February 2nd.
Wait, whoa, time out. This is in Mississippi. How long? When did this happen?
Last October.
Last October. So this is running with the other situation with the other guy, the two young men that just got beaten and waterboarded by the police. Go ahead. Mississippi is doing a lot right now. Go ahead.
Right. Yet declined to provide additional details. While Carter's family believes the condition of his remains could be a sign of physical attack, authorities allegedly claim that wild animals might have ripped apart his body. Yakina Anderson, a cousin of Carter's mother, Tiffany Carter, implied that she wasn't convinced by the authorities' theory that he went there and fell dead and the animals were feeding off him, noting that he was in so many different pieces. Carter's mother contended that during their final phone calls, her son was clear about the threats he faced, was not on drugs or intoxicated, and had no mental illness in his history.
And 9 times out of 10, his brother went to work, came home, he wasn't on drugs, because his mother said, he wasn't involved in no drugs. Is what she said. But this young man, he went and worked. He felt he was being hunted, and his steps was being hunted. And what? They find him in pieces, and now the lawless America saying, oh no, his body got eaten by wolves and stuff and just broken apart. You in 1,000 parts. How are you in 1,000 parts and some animals got to you? If animals got to you, you will be in one place, a den. Salaki, sir, go ahead.
Some animals did get to him.
Khan, some animals did get to him, sir.
Some beast of the field, as the Bible calls him.
Khan.
We call him an oppressor because we can't call him out who he really is.
Can we say Esau, sir? We can say Esau is the beast of the field, and that's who got to him, sir. That's who got to him. Those are the animals that got to him, sir. Those are the beasts of the field that got to him and destroyed this and ripped this brother up into pieces. It's disgusting. And what's more disgusting is this man probably knew nothing of the Lord. He probably went to church every Sunday with his mom and his kids, his wife, his family, and did not practice the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments. He did not know about brotherhood because guess what? Here in the UPK, our brothers are not going anywhere alone. You are not going anywhere alone. Like the 54th Passover that's coming up. Guess what's going to happen? We're going to be together. We're going to be gathered together with the brothers. And once we get with the brothers, guess what? If a brother goes to the store, it's going to probably be a gang of brothers going to the store. Not one brother going to the store. Not in these towns. Ain't nobody going to the store alone. Nobody's going to the store alone. If one of the brothers say we going to a liquor store run, how many brothers is going to the liquor store together? Sir, also done. Yeah. Also done. How many brothers going to the store, sir?
Everybody.
Everybody's going to the store. We're going to look like a mob going to the store. A sister is going to go, I have to go to Walmart to pick up something for the kids. It's going to be a mob of sisters going to the store. A mob of sisters with 1,000 kids going to the store at one time. Because we got one kid got to get some, all the kids got to get something. Because we're going to gather together. And see, the thing about it is our brother had not the understanding of brotherhood. He had no understanding of the law. Because a pack of animals would not have got to him if he understood the law.
Right.
Because I would have been reporting to my camp leader, hey, listen, these people been following me for 2 days. And guess what would have happened? It would have been something would have changed immediately. We're going to go into the book of Deuteronomy chapter 48. Slakia. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Let me go ahead and read this. This is the book of Deuteronomy. Oh, yes, you have it?
Come.
Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 48.
Can't be about the book. So we'll just leave it open.
It's open?
And I left it on.
All right, come on. Read.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48.
Go ahead.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
What?
Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies.
Because we lost sight of the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments, we serve our enemies. And because we serve our enemies, guess what? We're privy, we're being prey to our enemies. We're being hunted down by our enemies. Even in the workforce, we're being hunted down. We work all day, slave all day, 2 and 3 jobs just so we can pay taxes. They hunt us down. That's a hunt within itself. They take everything and give nothing back. Go ahead.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
What?
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Who sent our enemies against us?
The Lord.
The Lord sent our enemies against us. Why did the Lord send our enemies against us?
Because we weren't keeping the law.
Raise your hand.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Because we weren't keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments.
Because we forgot about the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments of the Most High God. Because we were not keeping the law. And because we were not keeping the law, the Most High God sent our enemies against us. And now we serve our enemies. We serve our enemies in all things. We work, we bust our tail just to pay the bills, just to pay taxes, to serve our enemies, to put our enemies in better positions in life. Go ahead.
And hunger.
And what?
And hunger.
And what?
And hunger.
And what?
And hunger.
And hunger. And hunger. Go ahead.
And in thirst.
And what?
And in thirst.
Man, we go to the grocery store, look at the prices of everything right now. But to look at the prices of something simple as water. It's because we forgot about the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments, and we're paying the price for that. Shalom, Lord of Christ. Come on, sir. Because we forgot the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments of the Most High God. Go ahead.
And in nakedness.
And what?
And in nakedness.
We got to go work, bust our tails for food, for water, for clothing, and everything. We're going to go to our enemy. And they're our bosses. They're our neighbors making the potato salad with raisins in it and bringing it to the party. And guess what's happening? They're the ones that hate us the most. Because we got a little bit of clout. We got a little raise, and they hate us for it. Go ahead.
And in want of all things.
In want of all things. There's nothing that we can do without going through our oppressors. And it's sad. And we're being put on the bottom of the totem pole simply because we forgot these laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments of the Most High God. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he shall do what?
Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Man, this is a yoke of iron on our neck, and we don't even know it. It's invisible chains. These are invisible chains that we're wearing right now. Go ahead.
Until he has destroyed thee.
Until what?
He has destroyed thee.
Look around your communities and see what's going on with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people. As the first story we brought about was the freedom that was of some kids. But what about the thousands, the tens of thousands that's being kidnapped every day? That go missing, go lost with no way to be found? What about those that's on these Indian reservations that's never found? What about the ones that's still in cages right now? What about the sisters that's going missing? It was a large count of just women just start coming up missing all over the United States. What about those sisters? And if you notice, They are Black, Hispanic, and Native American people. Those are the high counts of missing people every day in the world. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people. But just in the United States, what about those sisters? What's going on with those sisters? Read that part again, Barbara Shaw.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
Go ahead.
which the Lord shall send against thee,
Go ahead.
in hunger,
And hunger.
and in thirst,
Go ahead.
and in nakedness,
Go ahead.
and in want of all things.
And want of all things. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck,
Read.
until he have destroyed thee.
Until what?
Until he have destroyed thee.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people. What?
Until he have destroyed thee.
The Lord has destroyed us. He allowed us to be destroyed. He allowed us to be destroyed so we can wake up and follow the laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments. And because we still do not follow, our people are going through all types of torture, all types of murder. Look at the last 10, say the last 50 cases with crimes against the police. They involve Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people.
Right.
Read.
Okay. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
From where?
From far.
We was on the west coast of Africa. They came from what? England? We can say that, right? Europe. They came from Europe. I can say that right. That they came from Europe. Go ahead.
From the end of the earth, and swift as the eagle flieth.
Man, they swift as the eagle fly. Look how fast they set up America. America is considered what, a young country.
Yeah.
The youngest, right? If I'm not mistaken,
1776.
1776 is the youngest country. But look how fast they grew. Look how vast they grew off the backs of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people.
Right.
Look at how far they have come. They are the pillar of the cornerstone of the earth right now. Slack, sir.
Like you said, off the backs of us, they were able to grow this so-called great country.
Right.
Right. I just seen somewhere Akon was talking about if Black Americans move back to Africa, we can make Africa great the way that it's supposed to be.
You want this, sir?
Sure.
Hey, man. Come on, sir.
Move that slide.
I got it, sir. I'll put it inside the booth, sir.
I'll clap it up, I can. Shot did an excellent job. Look at your precept book.
Oh, Slack, sir. What?
Precept book. You know what I'm saying?
Slacky was teaching on we're being lost without the laws. What are we without the law, statute, commandments?
Yeah. Somebody pull up St. Patrick's Day. Grab the one straight off of Wikipedia if it suits you. St. Patrick's Day. We're going to talk about the embarrassment of these brothers out here wearing these green hats with that damn leaf on it. We're going to talk about it. All right, we're going to talk about how you're going to get drunk and you're going to rape some white girl tonight. It's going to be consensual, and then she going to say that's what it was. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the bar fights that y'all going to get into tonight. We're going to talk about all of it because you worship a white man who tried to pretend to be Black. You cannot be a saint. For St. Patrick's Day followers, you cannot be a saint unless you are a Black or Hispanic man.
Right.
It's impossible. And we're going to break it down to you tonight. We're going to break down how St. Patrick's Day is evil. God is not with anybody celebrating St. Patrick's Day. And you brothers look like buffoons with that damn tall green hat on with the shamrock on the front. And then we'll talk about how the shamrock represents the Holy Trinity. You understand? How St. Patrick's, come on, give me some ice. How St. Patrick's used it to celebrate the Holy Trinity and bring everybody together. We're going to get into all of that with St. Patrick's Day. All right, I know Daniel got it for me on Wikipedia, right? Okay. You hold that on Wikipedia. Hold that. I'll be right there with you.
You want just the introduction? Or you want the whole thing?
We gonna pull it from there. Somebody hold Romans 13 and 13. Somebody else hold Psalms 148 and 14. Done, you read the title, and then you can read that first paragraph.
St. Patrick's Day,
Mm-hmm.
or the Feast of St. Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
the day of the Festival of Patrick.
Mm-hmm. The festival of Patrick, not the festival of the Lord, not the festival of Jesus Christ that y'all claim. That's the reason why y'all celebrate Christmas for. At least Christmas, like you got a better excuse for Christmas by lying and saying it's the birthday of Jesus Christ. I mean, come on now, man. Right. Somebody who wasn't strong enough in the Bible will go, I kind of understand that. Right. Even though that's a whole lie.
Right.
So it's a whole lie and idolatry. Somebody could at least say, you know, it's the birthday of Jesus Christ, man. What is St. Patrick's Day?
The Festival of Patrick.
It's the festival of Patrick. Please tell me who the hell is Patrick? Is Patrick in the Bible?
Wow, sir.
Patrick's not in the Bible, is he? Patrick is not in the Bible, but we are celebrating the Feast of Patrick today. The Feast of Hanukkah, the Feast of Purim just passed, and none of you green hat wearing cats celebrated the Feast of Purim, but you're celebrating the Feast of Patrick. You hold Patrick, a white man who you never knew, in higher regard than your black and Hispanic ancestors who fought for their freedom. And all the, we call them little hats, but all the Jewish men that own Hollywood and own all your buildings and own the Poppy stores that Poppy got to pay rent to, and you over here scratching your head, I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent this month. And that little hat man does not care about your struggle. We put it down right there. That little, he does not care about your struggles. He wants his rent. Purim is about us fighting back and having the chance to get revenge on that man. Right. You did not celebrate that, but you are going out with a tall green hat and a shamrock on to go fornicate with a white woman tonight and get drunk and have bar fights. Go ahead.
If I could, sir, wear a shirt that says, "Kiss me, I'm Irish."
Kiss me, I'm Irish. You must love me, I'm Irish. You hate being black so goddamn much. You like, any day of the year you could be somebody else, you get it. Y'all be all up in the Portuguese festival when it come around. Oh, y'all be all up the Greek festival when it come around. Y'all be all up in everywhere except for the black festivals. You don't be at Purim. You're not at Hanukkah. Lord knows y'all not going to be at Passover.
Right.
You're not going to be at Passover.
Right.
But you're about to be at the Feast of Patrick. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. We're going to tell black people that you have holy days in the Bible.
Right.
You have feast days that celebrates everything that you are worth, and the problem is you don't know what you're worth.
Right.
You have no idea what you are and who you are supposed to be, according to the God of the Israelites, the God of this Bible, the only God that is real, and that is the God that Patrick could never celebrate. Patrick could never serve that God. Read on.
Come, sir. It is a religious and cultural holiday held on the 17th of March. The traditional death date of St. Patrick, the foremost patron saint of Ireland.
So essentially, you are celebrating Ireland, celebrating the Irish people. He is the foremost patron saint. This is the saint that they hold in all regard. They have other saints, they have other people who they consider saints in Ireland, and Patrick is just the most important. I'm going to run off just a couple of these facts. And then I'm going to have you pick right on up in the first passage. I'm going to have you pick right on up. Other names you might know this as is the Feast of St. Patrick, La Fille Padra, Patrick's Day, St. Patty's Day, St. Patty's Day. Right? There's a lot of churches that celebrate this day, although it's not in the Bible, which is why you need to leave the church.
Right.
Because nothing about today is in the Bible. Nothing at all. That's the Catholic Church, you need to leave. The Anglican, and that's for all the Hispanic brothers and sisters, leave the Catholic Church. Get up out of there. The Anglican Communion, the Eastern Orthodox Church, so many people, I don't know if y'all know this, so many people try to cling to the Eastern Orthodox Church. I believe that's the one where they let their priests actually marry and have sex with women other than little boys. So they cling to this church like, oh man, look, they do it right. They let you marry a woman. The Eastern Orthodox Church is celebrating Patrick. You understand? They're celebrating a man named Patrick. The Lutheran Church, all of these churches I'm mentioning, as well as every other church that I'm not mentioning, you need to leave. The big church that's not on this list is the Christian church, and that's because the Christian church is all through this passage.
Right.
St. Patrick's Day,
Come. St. Patrick's Day was made an official Christian feast day in the early 17th century, and is observed by the Catholic Church, the
Anglican.
Anglican Communion, especially the Church of Ireland, the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the Lutheran Church. The day commemorates St. Patrick and the arrival of Christianity in Ireland, and by extension celebrates the heritage and culture of the Irish in general.
So you are celebrating the heritage and culture of the Irish in general. Somebody give me Isaiah 17:4. Either Isaiah 17:4 or Jeremiah 17:4. One of those two. But then you read on.
Count up.
Matter of fact, like you hold actually done. Somebody give me, I think it's Jeremiah 17:4.
I'm still holding Romans 13 and 13 for you.
You still holding that?
Come.
You said Jeremiah 17:4, sir.
Come on, read that.
Con. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Shall do what?
Discontinue from thine heritage.
I'll tell you, but what did Wikipedia just say?
It said,
by extension, said all of these churches celebrated, and then this day you're celebrating St. Patrick in the churches, and by extension,
celebrates the heritage and culture of the Irish in general.
Of who?
The Irish.
You're celebrating the heritage and culture of the Irish,
right,
in general. What does Jeremiah 17:4 say?
Come. And thou even thyself shall discontinue shall discontinue.
You will stop. Go ahead.
From thine heritage.
You're going to discontinue for your own heritage. What you should celebrate, you won't celebrate. Why? Because you're worried about when that day in March comes around every year, I'm going to go get a whore in a bar in New York City. And I'm going to have sex with her. And I'm going to wear the shamrock. And I'm going to throw it over my shoulder when I'm done drinking for good luck. And I'm going to have a good St. Patrick's Day. It's going to be a day to remember. Right. That's why you don't have your own culture.
Right.
Because the Passover to you, I mean, I know you, they got every goddamn reason in the world why we shouldn't be celebrating the Passover. You celebrating the murder of somebody's firstborns. How could you do that? This is ridiculous. It's so long ago. Let it go. And here you are celebrating somebody else's culture entirely.
Right.
You reject your own culture and you celebrate somebody else's entirely. It's completely ridiculous. But of course, you'll indulge in it because it's not just about celebrating their culture. It's about sinning.
Right.
It's about the opportunity to sin. The opportunity to today makes it all right to go have sex with somebody I don't know. Get blistering drunk, have sex with somebody I will never see again.
Right.
I will not be able to remember her face when I wake up.
God.
I'm going to have sex with her tonight. I'm going to get so drunk that I pee myself.
Okay.
That my friends have to carry me out of the bar. But tonight, it's okay. Because tonight is Patrick's Day.
Right.
It's as ridiculous as a grown woman celebrating her birthday. It's a reason for you to sin. Go ahead.
Like I said, there's an actual St. Patrick's Crime Museum. I just looked this up.
I mean, all the crimes happen on St. Patrick's Day?
All the way back from 387 AD.
I'm sure. Do you know what happens when a bunch of undisciplined men get together in a room? You know what happens? And then you put liquor in the room. Do you know what happens?
Yeah.
Fights.
Right.
Fights. Guns, knives, fists, brass knuckles, bats, broken beer bottles, fights. You understand that? That's what happens when you put a bunch of weird men in a room together. White men, Indian men, black men, Chinese men, all coming together for what? Some guy named Patrick. Who the hell is Patrick? Who's Patrick? You know why you get together on a Passover and nothing like that happens? Are you there for Patrick? No. Who you there for? Kashak.
We're there for the Lord.
You there for the Lord I can hit and our King Yahweh.
Right.
That's
You're
right.
not there
That's
for
right.
Patrick. You're there for a man and you know in English is Jesus Christ.
Right.
That's right.
But you are there for Yahweh Mashiach, the King of blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
That's why you don't go off the deep end at the Passover.
Right.
You're there for a reason. You're there in spirit. You're there actually loving them in your next to. You're not in competition for whore at the
Right.
bar.
Right.
You're not in competition for whore at the bar. There's no fights to go down. We love each other too goddamn much to fight over anything. You understand?
Right.
To fight over anything, we love each other too goddamn much. You understand?
Damn right.
Right. And of course, Patrick is that right. Who's Patrick? Who is he? Who's Patrick? We're gonna find out who Patrick is today.
Colonel Khan.
Go ahead.
The
Colonel Khan, sir.
You finish the verse. Finish the verse.
Colonel Khan, sir. There's more there. That I gave thee,
That I gave thee, good.
and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
You are a slave in America. You are a slave in America. And you are going out to a bar with your slave master's daughter. And you are too excited to go have sex with her because a normal night, she's not even looking at you. This is the night that also makes it acceptable for her to see what a black man is like. I was drunk. I did some crazy things on St. Patrick's Day in my life. Like what, mommy? I had a black man. You are a slave in this country.
Right.
You understand? Same thing for the white men with the black women. You women are gonna go to that goddamn bar and wake up with some guy named Patrick's DNA all in you.
Right.
Done your real.
You want me to finish? It's more.
That's too real. That's why.
Colonel Khan, sir.
Stop. Celebrations generally involve public parades and festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Kaylee and the wearing of green attire or shamrocks.
Mm-hmm.
Christians who belong to
Liturgical.
Liturgical denominations
Mm.
also attend church services, and historically, the Lenten restrictions on eating and drinking alcohol were lifted for that day.
If y'all don't know what Lenten is a certain week period leading up to Easter for Christians where they fast from something. They pick something they want to fast from during the weeks of Lenten. And during Lenten, during this, St. Patrick's Day falls in the middle of Lenten.
Mm-hmm.
So during St. Patrick's Day,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're fasting from, it's okay. It's fine. Whatever food or drink you're fasting from, it's fine. Go ahead and indulge in it because today, supersedes Lenten. It's for Patrick. Good.
So, Salakia, if I may, just to gain a little understanding, basically what you're telling me is Lenten is something you do, is like saying, how can I say it?
Lenten is Ramadan.
Is Ramadan, or also this making your New Year's resolution?
No, Lenten is Ramadan. Lenten is your fasting, it's saying it's for the Lord.
Right.
Of course, you're saying it's for
Okay.
the Lord.
Okay.
And,
So Lenten is fasting.
you want to raise, make sure you raise your hand. Good?
Excuse me, brothers.
Uh-huh.
So Lenten is a form of fasting.
Lenten is a fast. I don't know the exact specific. Somebody pull up Lenten. It's a fast of food and drink, of certain food and drink.
Lent is
You get to pick. Yeah.
Lent is is the solemn Christian religious observance in how you say it?
Liturgical.
Liturgical, commemorating the 40 days Jesus Christ spent fasting in the desert.
Say 40-day fast, but it's not an actual fasting from all food or water fast. You pick, right? And what I mean by you pick is, I mean, it might even say, does it say that they have to fast from food and water altogether? I mean, food altogether for Lent? Yeah, come on. I know Christians. I know certain Christians who are doing Lent right now. And they are picking and choosing. I'm going to fast from oysters. I'm going to fast from this. I'm going to fast from that. They're picking their own thing they want to fast from.
Okay.
That's Lent. Leading up to Easter, so you see, like it says, signify the 40 days Christ fasted in the wilderness. And then, of course, Easter comes, and that's supposed to be, you know, when Christ rose. Good.
Okay, so Lent is the fast, but because what's this holiday again? St. Patrick's Day. But because of this, you get to take a day off from your
Essentially.
Okay.
Essentially, because you know, St. Patrick for that one day is just a little more important than Jesus.
I gotta see what this Patrick is.
We're gonna find out who Patrick is. Go ahead, brother. What's your name again?
So everybody call me E. So who made this man St. Patrick Day important, and why he has say so over what we doing or whoever's doing when they are going through this fast period?
Well, the Lenten thing. Oh, sorry, I get what you're saying slightly. We're gonna get to who he is and why people consider him important, but that's an excellent question. The white man is the reason you're celebrating today. He's the reason why your family members and your friends are going to go out to the bar and they're going to text you and contact you and say, hey, man, we about to go get drunk. We got these whores. We got these whores with us, man. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, but you know, if a person is really about what they're doing, Lindsay, if I'm wrong, excuse me, right?
Fasting during Lent.
Lindsay?
I mean, I wouldn't know. That's a Christian concept. Fasting during Lent, if they're really about it, why would they stop for St. Patrick's Day? Well, they would tell you because both are Christian holidays. I would tell you because Lent is garbage. Lent is trash. That's why I said it's like Ramadan. It's trash. It's a fake holiday. There's nothing real about Lent.
Right.
Lent is make-believe. It's pretend. It's let's find something to celebrate all year long because Christianity is paganism.
Right.
So let's find some god or some tree or some bunny that lays an egg or something. Let's take something out of the Bible and let's make a holiday out of it and say that it's okay because it's from the Bible, even though the Lord did not ordain it.
Right.
You understand? Good.
So what do we do?
I'm about to break down what you got to do. Done your read on?
Come, sir. And historically, the Lenten restrictions on eating and drinking alcohol were lifted for that day, which has encouraged and propagated the holiday's tradition of alcohol consumption. St. Patrick's Day is a public holiday.
No, you just leave all of that. Skip all the way down to the bottom where it says modern celebrations.
Come. Modern celebrations have been gratefully influenced by those of the Irish diaspora.
Meaning people that left Ireland and went to other countries dead.
Particularly those that developed in North America.
However, y'all might want to be following along if y'all can on Wikipedia, so y'all can know this. Okay?
However, there has been criticism of St. Patrick's Day celebrations for having become too commercialized and for fostering negative stereotypes of Irish people.
Meaning the Irish don't like that we're making them seem like they're drunks. They don't like that. Give me a napkin for my nose and cheeks. You understand? The Irish don't like that everybody celebrates St. Patrick's Day with fornication and getting drunk and alcoholism and fighting. They say that we're not like that. That's not true. The only problem is every other Christian holiday ends the same way. Thanksgiving ends when somebody finally addresses the pedophile at the table. As soon as somebody says something, finally, you can leave that one right there. As soon as somebody says something to the pedophile at the table about him being a pedophile, Thanksgiving's over. It's done. As soon as somebody mentions how your mother was being a trick for those Christmas gifts, Christmas is over.
Yeah, right.
It's over. It's fights. It's cussing. No one loves each other anymore. Every Christmas holiday ends the same. And don't get me started on the murder rate and the violent crime rate going up around every major Christian holiday. From July 4th to Christmas to Thanksgiving, you can look at the numbers. The Lord hates these holidays, and there are spirits that entice people to commit more murder, more unaliving, more robbery, more armed robbery, more grand theft auto. There's more people committing these crimes around this time because the spirits are being released by the Lord because he hates these days.
Right.
He hates these days. But now you want to click the tab that says St. Patrick.
Con. St. Patrick was a 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary and bishop in Ireland. Much of what is known about St. Patrick comes from the Declaration, which was allegedly written by Patrick himself.
Of course, this man is telling you, I'm a saint. Read my book that I wrote about myself and everything amazing I've ever done in my life. Jesus Christ, who y'all call Jesus Christ, was so amazing. He was so amazing. 4 people told a story about him, and it's all the same.
Right.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all wrote their own accounts of Yahweh's life. Of the man y'all call Jesus, they wrote their own accounts of his life. And it's so true that they all match up. He didn't write it himself.
Right.
Patrick wrote a book about himself and said, I'm so amazing, read what I did. Who wrote this account of you? Me. Read on.
Con. It is believed that he was born in Roman Britain in the 4th century into a wealthy Romano-British family. His father was a deacon, and his grandfather was a priest in the Christian church. According to the Declaration, at the age of 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken as a slave to Gaelic Ireland. It says that he spent 6 years there working as a shepherd, and that during this time he found God. The Declaration says that God told Patrick to flee to the coast, where a ship will be waiting him to take him home. After making his way home, Patrick went on to become a priest.
So much like Muhammad, God talked to Patrick, and God said, make your way to the coast. For surely you shall become my next great prophet, my next great saint in this cat's case. And this is Patrick went on to become a priest. Somebody give me you holding that scripture for me?
Come.
Give me that scripture. Romans 13 and 13.
Come. It's the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 13. Let us walk honestly.
Let us what?
Let us walk honestly.
Oh, yeah, you about to lie. All of y'all about to go lie to your spouses that you did not have a train ran on you on St. Patrick's Day night.
I don't know about all
Hey,
that.
hold your peace. Hey, hold your peace. Hold your peace. You about to go lie and say that I did not have a train. Come on, me. You're going to go lie. But we know the truth. We know the truth. Read it again.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 13. Let us walk honestly, as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness.
Not in what?
Not in rioting and drunkenness.
Good.
Not in chambering and...
No, not you. Good, brother.
Excuse me, brother. We were reading the scriptures. I didn't mean to interrupt like that, but yeah. And in all honesty, in all honesty, that's all we got. Excuse me.
Come, good.
Not in rioting and drunkenness.
Not in rioting and drunkenness. What is the rioting? All the fist fights, all the bloody faces that's going to be in the bar tonight, all the cop calls that are going to happen all across this damn country and across the world. If you read, I think the passage that I had it done, you skip, you'll see that this holiday is very famous in Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, South Africa. I mean, these goddamn, it's all over the place. St. Patrick's Day. The police all over the world are going to be called to bar fights, domestic violence, because you're going to come home and you're going to be so drunk you didn't even see that man left DNA on your dress. You're going to walk in the house, and your husband's going to see that, and domestic violence is going to occur. You understand? Domestic violence is going to occur. What's the second part? It was rioting and what?
Rioting and drunkenness.
And drunkenness. You're going to get drunk and do things that you regret, and you're going to wake up and shake your head and say, that wasn't me. I just can't understand how I embarrassed myself like that. Perhaps don't go out drinking when the white man tells you to drink.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And rioting and drunkenness, the Lord does not like it. Go ahead.
Not in chambering and
what does chambering mean?
You have it.
Save y'all some time because you might need to actually go into the Zion Van Bible or the Strongs. The Strongs.
Gordon, sir.
Yeah, I need to go in there. Need to go in there. Yeah, let me see if you got it. Get it.
Chambering, illicit intercourse.
There you go. Chambering is, you said you needed what? No, concordance. It's a Strong's concordance. It's a, what's that say? What's that say on there? The exhaustive concordance of the Bible. It allows you to tie certain words to definitions. Get it off of Amazon. You can walk in Barnes and Nobles and buy it. That's the same thing. You can tell them that after class.
Come on, sir.
And we read it again. What is it? What's chambering?
Chambering. Illicit intercourse.
Sexual intercourse. Now read that scripture again. Read that scripture again.
Good.
Colonel Khan. Let us walk honestly, as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness.
Let us walk honestly, as in the day, and not in riotness and drunk. Meaning, all day today, you was at work. You was forced to sit there and be a regular person. Tonight, you'll go and be disgusting. Let us walk in honestness, as when the sun is up and everybody can see you. But when you're in the club and the lights go off and the strobe lights turn on and the lights in the ceiling turn on, good night. Good night. You turn into something that nobody recognizes.
Right.
Your true self.
Mm.
Go ahead, Ayash. I'm telling you to actually read. One second. Good read.
Not in chambering and wantonness.
Not in chambering and wantonness. Don't go have illicit sex. Do not go find a white woman and go have sex with her.
Right.
Do not go find a woman in general and go have sex with her, and now you throw her away, and now you never see her again.
Right.
That is against the Lord. And he does not want you to go fight at the bar and drink a bunch of liquor and have sex with Becky in the stall and come back out and pop a molly.
Right.
That's not what he wants for your St. Patrick's Day. You know what he wants you to do? He wants you learning why St. Patrick's Day is disgusting.
Right.
Right. That's what he wants you doing. He wants you not celebrating a man named Patrick. That's what he does. A lot of y'all don't even celebrate your goddamn father. But you over here celebrating a man named Patrick. You hate your daddy when you came out of that man, and you're going to go celebrate a man named Patrick. You still believe everything your mother ever told you about your father. Everything. He was no good. He wasn't worth this, that, and the third. My daddy wasn't there. Boo-hoo. But you're going to go celebrate Patrick. You never forgave your father, but you will go celebrate Patrick, who you never knew.
Right.
1 second. Hold your peace. Read on.
Colonel Khan. Not in strife and and envying.
Not in strife, and then strife is just another word for fighting. Envying, you're going to be fighting over that woman at the bar.
Right.
They're going to be fighting at the bar. That's all that happens when a bunch of undisciplined men get drunk around one another. They fight over women. They fight over women, and you're going to get drunk, and you're going to get envious because she's talking to him and not you.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And you're going to walk up, and you're going to sucker punch him. He's going to break a bottle on the table, and he's going to cut you. Your friends are going to jump in. His friends are going to jump in. There's going to be a bar brawl. The cops are going to get called. And by Saturday morning, you'll have a mugshot. That's your St. Patrick's Day. I mean, but at least you had sex with Samantha. You popped a Molly. Right? At least you got to have your fun. I'm going to hold your peace. Make sure you hold your peace up.
Sloppy.
And make sure you hold your peace. Good?
That was it on that scripture.
Wow. Give me. So who's holding Isaiah? I mean Psalms. Who's holding Psalms? Don't even give me Psalms yet. Done. Give me back in Wikipedia.
So
I'm gonna read some more before we get Psalms.
You want Psalms what, sir?
1 second. I'm gonna give it to y'all. Give me that. So done. You
want St. Patrick's Day?
Phones on mute and vibrate.
On count, sir.
Yeah, St. Patrick. Get up.
I just want to say, sorry for my interruption.
Mhm.
I take pride in being a man's man. I take pride in being somebody that my brother can call on. I take pride in being a brother. So excuse me for what I said, but I take pride in being that type of man to my brother.
As you should, of course. And here around these men, you have to exercise discipline. These are all very disciplined men. And one day, maybe you can become a very disciplined man. But that is something that's very good. You should absolutely be a brother to your brother. Why are you fighting over a woman?
Right.
Why are you fighting over a woman? Every man in here knows if we all go out to the bar, I mean, if you want a woman and the woman starts pressing, let me tell you something. If I want a woman and the woman starts pressing up on Ayash, you know what Ayash is going to do? What Ayash going to do?
Right.
What is Ayash going to do, Kashak?
Y'all's gonna make sure the men above them don't want first.
And then, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. And then what's gonna happen? And then what's likely to happen? You can do that. You can just say, woo. Go ahead. I never stop none of y'all from shining. Go ahead. What is likely to happen? Ayash.
I'm gonna say F that B, and we're gonna keep it pushing and find somebody else because that's protocol.
Right.
For a second, I thought Ayash was gonna say, "I'm gonna go pop a molly."
Get that.
I don't know. So lucky, man. Somebody been like, man, listen.
That's why you don't take my what's up.
No, but I was gonna say, like, I hope this don't come off wrong, but man, the women they gonna be who they are.
Yes, they are.
But they not us.
Right.
And so in saying that is like I'm saying this, man. I got respect for people that I call my brothers, and it's nothing nobody can tell me or say or act, that's gonna even come in between that. So, you just let people.
Do you know what that fully amounts to, though? You know what that fully amounts to in this world? I hope. Nothing. It fully amounts to nothing. You know why? In the world, we like to believe that everybody who backs that we have our backs. The people we put trust and love into, trust and love us. Here's the problem. Every form of love between man and man, righteous love, of course, every form of sisterhood or brotherhood, right, between blacks and Hispanics in any shape, form, or fashion, whether that be a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a brother being a brother towards a sister, vice versa, a husband and wife, every type of love we've tried has failed, including the love you're talking about. Would you like me to tell you why? I can tell you why. You have more to share?
Bro.
Go ahead.
So I'm not trying to debate. I'm just giving my opinion. You know, things happen in different situations, bro.
Mhm.
You know, things happen in different situations, but I can only take accountability for who I am,
Right,
and how I handle situations. So,
but shouldn't every Black or Hispanic man have to take accountability for who they are?
I think so.
Right. So if you think so, you think that every Black and Hispanic has to take accountability for who they are as a person. Does that not lead to what I'm saying? Well, what I was about to say is that every form of love has failed because that is not prevalent in our community. Have you ever slept with a brother's wife? Meaning, have you ever slept with a woman who was sleeping with somebody else? Just answer my questions for a second. Have you ever slept with a woman who was sleeping with somebody else?
Never. And I never will.
How many women have you slept with? I'm asking serious questions. I'm asking serious questions. How many, women have you? Let's say you've been with a dozen women. Were they all, for all of those women, were you there first?
Brother.
I'm just asking a question. For all of those women that you've had throughout your life, were you there first? So I would have to break it to you, brother, that you slept with brothers' women.
Right.
In the Bible, sex is marriage.
Right.
So if she's ever had sex, she belongs to that man that you don't know. You know what true brotherhood is? How you doing? My name is E. What's going on? Do you have a husband? I ain't got no husband. Let me rephrase. Do you have a boyfriend? I ain't got no. Okay, let me try one more time. Are you having sex? Have you ever had sex with somebody? Of course she has. This is America. Is that brother, might he be passed? Is that brother dead? Oh, no. Okay. You have a husband. You understand that? If a woman has ever had sex with any man, she has a husband.
Damn right.
So, brother, I admire your attempts to be valiant. But if you've ever had sex with a woman whose you were not her first, and that previous man wasn't dead, you did have sex with somebody else's woman.
Damn right.
Mm-hmm. But you know the upside to that? You know the positive part you can take away out of that? There's light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. There's a man that died for a brother like you who didn't know that if I have sex with her and she's ever had sex before and that cat is alive, I can't have sex with her. A cat like you that didn't know that, there's a man that died for that. Right. There's a man that died for that. Mm-hmm. His name isn't Patrick.
Right.
Damn right.
That's why you don't celebrate Patrick, because his name ain't Patrick. His name is who you call Jesus Christ.
Right.
He died so that if I had sex before knowing sex is marriage, I had sex with a woman and we broke up. If I have sex with a woman and she has had a previous partner and that man isn't already dead, I've committed sin. You understand that?
Right.
That's what he died for. So I'm not stomping on your valiant efforts. I'm not at all. I just want you to understand the truth about the world that you live in.
Right.
The world you live in, nothing but sin runs around here. And the idea of if I cock my legs open and a man enters me, I'm stuck with him for life is foreign. Go contact the last woman you had sex with and go get into it. It's foreign. You understand? It's foreign. You know how many women are willing to have sex with you? You know how many women throw themselves at these brothers in I.S.U.P.K? It just happens so damn often. And you know why every man doesn't have 12,000 wives? Because you know what happens? when you actually have to vet her and talk to her and figure out if you want to deal with that type of crazy, whatever crazy she got,
Right.
her crazy is a 4. Right now, I'm looking for a 2 maximum.
Right.
That's the truth.
Brother, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Right.
You have to vet women. You have to vet them and talk to them and sit there and listen to how crazy she is. And decide, is this something I can work with? You understand? You have to decide, is this something I can work with? And then you have to ask her this crucial question right here that a lot of women are comfortable about. They're uncomfortable about this one. How many men have you slept with? How many demons from past relationships do you have on you? Am I dealing with 6 demons or 17?
Right. Right.
44, 71. What am I dealing with here? You understand? Please tell me what I'm dealing with here so I can decide whether or not to waste my time or this is going to be fruitful. Go ahead.
So I like to build on that because I agree with every word you just said. I like to build on that, but I'm gonna turn around to being with my brothers. This is what I can say about myself. As a man, I never in my lifetime, it's not a man you can look to. It's not a man you can find. You can go here.
I got you. I got you.
Los Angeles to Africa.
I got you.
Easy.
And you've never taken nobody's woman. You've never taken nobody's woman. No, I'm asking a genuine question, not like a leading question.
Never.
I have.
I have too.
I have.
Me too.
One second. Just 1 second.
Can I finish?
Brother, just
Can I
this
finish?
is a classroom.
I know, but can I finish?
I got you. I'm gonna let you finish. Absolutely. I have. Just understand how normal that is. Unless you're telling me every woman you've ever had has not had sex with anybody else. Yes, you have.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
Bro, I get what you're saying, and on a literal sense, like I agree with you 100%. But when it comes down to my brothers, people who I am around,
right?
And I know.
Oh, you will never do that to them, is what you're saying,
right?
I would never do it to any man on earth. Now,
right.
See what I'm saying?
Okay, but I just want to let that be known.
Yeah, that's fine.
None of my brothers.
Brother, I wouldn't care if in the world you were a cold-hearted murderer. Meaning, before you stepped in this class, I wouldn't care if you were a cold murderer. You know why? You want to know why? Because Christ died for all of the sins of blacks and Hispanics, no matter how deep, dark, and nasty they are.
Right.
I'm not going to say you can't come in here because you have had sex with a woman who had sex with a man before you. I'm not going to say you can't come in here because you was toting a pistol on the block and selling a little bit of narcotics and had beef with blacks and Hispanics who look just like you. I'm not saying you can't come in here because you used to be in a Christian church with a tie and a suit on, or you used to be a Muslim with a bow tie on, selling bean pies with the damn final call. I'm not saying you can't come in here because of any of that. So I don't want you to feel like you have to say, well, I was all right in the world. Brother, none of us was all right.
Right.
None of us. We were all disgusting.
Right.
Go ahead.
And I agree with that because at the end of the day, I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, if you really break it down in the lamest terms, I mean, hey, shit, that's just what it is. But I'm speaking from where I'm coming from. And as a brother, those lines I never cross. So I just want to make it known to everybody in here. I'm not that type of motherfucker.
I got you. I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
Christ.
I understand. I understand. Just understand that we all come here to get better anyway.
Right.
So we haven't all committed all sins, right? So you may have never had sex with a woman that you know had another man, and you may have. I'm not saying you have. I just said you may have never
crossed.
No, I just said that. That's what I just said.
You know, it's men that will, you know, act like they're your homeboy, act like they're your friend,
But not you.
act like they're your brother, and they be looking at your girl. That I don't get down like that.
I understand.
The only reason I spoke on this is because it's like one and the same thing, you know. It's like it's one and the same thing.
That's to why. Now I'm going to do something for you that Christ did for us. I'm going to add unto what you just said. See, when Christ came, he didn't demolish the law. He added unto the law.
Right.
Right.
So what you saying you were already, I'm going to tell you something greater. I did do what you're saying you didn't do. I did do. And I'll tell you that.
Right.
I did it. And now I'll tell you this. I'm not that man now.
Right.
I'll make it greater. That wasn't your sin in the world. I had that problem. Pretty sure you might have had problems that another brother might not have had. We don't all commit the same sin. We don't all come from the exact same walk of life.
Right.
That's fine. But when you come in here, you become exactly the same.
Damn right.
Damn right.
You understand? When you come in here, I'm not looking at any man's woman. He can be Chinese. He can be He can be Vietnamese. He can be African. He can be Australian. He can be white. He can be anything. I'm not looking at his woman. Do you understand that?
Damn right.
Black, Hispanic, Chinese, Japanese, Australian, African. I'm not looking at any man's woman at all. That's even greater than what you just said. I extend that to every man on earth. That's what I have for you all.
Right?
It's the last time. Good.
I'm just saying, I appreciate you saying that. I really respect that. I appreciate that because, you know, people walk around here and act like, you know, they holier than that.
Right, because when you come in here, right, here's the thing. You come in here, you do behave better than the rest of the world.
Damn right.
That's
Christians may act holier than thou. What you see in here is not an act.
right.
What you see in here is the culmination of lifestyle choices. This is what you get when you choose to follow Christ. It's not an act. I'll never rob you. I'll never commit murder. Never take a brother's wife.
Yeah, right.
I'll never do anything the Lord told me not to do.
Right.
All the way down to something as small, what we consider small, something as small as a tattoo, something as small as a hairline, as a shape up beard and all that. I would never do anything the Lord wouldn't allow me to do now. That's greater than just, not sleeping with a man's woman.
Right.
Because I have news for you. Whatever sin you were committing in the world, you're just as bad as the man who was sleeping with somebody else's woman.
Right.
Right.
Because it's all same to the Lord.
Yeah, right.
So you don't have to get caught up on, well, I didn't do that though. Hey, I don't really care. Adulterer, murderer, same thing. Same thing. You understand? Thief, tattoo, same thing. You understand? Only amongst men do men like to pretend one is worse than the other. To the Lord, it is the same. You do understand that, right? Good.
Yo, yeah, I appreciate you for saying that because you actually putting this into perspective. Like, especially when you were saying, like, there's no sin is a sin.
Yes, it is.
So I'm new to the pack, so I just felt like I had to say that. But I appreciate you saying what you just said because because that's really where I was going with it. As soon as it's set.
Mhm.
That's just what it
At the
is.
end of the day, it doesn't matter what a man thinks.
So
it matters what the Lord thinks.
I appreciate that. And I'm right here with you. I agree.
No sweat. Ayash, Slakia, done you.
Come, sir. So like,
Let's see. Oh yeah, no, yeah, you did have. I told you Psalms, but Daniel, you continue with the breakdown of Saint Patrick.
come, sir.
Of Patrick, excuse me.
According to tradition, Slaki, Patrick returned to Ireland to convert the pagan Irish to Christianity.
As you should know, being an Israelite is something you can only be born as.
Right.
It's not something you can convert to. Now, you can come back to your original heritage, which is what we all do. We all come back to being who we are. Priests, prophets, princes of the power. But you cannot convert to being an Israelite. A Chinese man can't become an Israelite. An African can't become an Israelite because it's in your blood.
That's
you understand? Right. The same way I can't become your daddy's son. You understand? I didn't come from your father like you did. You can't convert to being somebody's blood sibling the same way a Chinese man can't convert to being an Israelite. Right. But of course, this man went to Ireland and converted Ireland to Christianity, which should let you know Christianity is garbage.
That's right.
Because anybody can join Christianity. There's no criteria. It's all about, excuse me. Christianity is all about the big melting pot of pretending you love Jesus.
Right.
So as long as you can pretend you love Jesus and you like Easter and you fast during Lent, you can be a Christian. The Lord said, my people are the only people that can truly serve me. There's power in being an Israelite. All right. Read on.
Come, sir. The declaration says that he spent many years evangelizing in the northern half of Ireland and converted thousands.
Psalms 148 and 14. Like Daniel, continue.
Come, sir. Patrick's efforts were eventually turned into an allegory in which he drove snakes out of Ireland, despite the fact that snakes were not known to inhabit the region.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come, sir.
No, let me get Ayash or whoever got Psalms 148 and 14.
If I could, sir.
Done you?
I went to a white elementary school, and they was breaking down St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And this came up.
Mm-hmm.
He drove snakes out of Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't the brightest, African American student, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I know snakes don't dwell in cold regions. Mm-hmm. So it had to be a flip side to the story. So who were the actual snakes that he drove out of Ireland? Mm-hmm. That's for another class. I just wanted to. Mm-hmm. I just want to say that.
Yeah, no, the snakes. You always want to raise your hand. The snakes, of course, these snakes were people who didn't agree with, him bringing Christianity over to Ireland.
Right.
You're a pagan. That is against. Of course, the Israelites are famous. You're the only person that doesn't know that the Israelites are famous. It's just blacks and Hispanics. Everybody else on earth and their ancestors and in their history books, their true history books, knows the Israelites as completely famous.
Right.
Completely famous. And they knew that, we were the only people at that time doing, what's the word? Monotheistic. You had one God.
Right.
Everybody else was polytheistic with many gods.
Right.
Which is what promoted Muhammad when he created Islam. He took 365 gods that the Arabs was worshiping and made Allah. Because he saw that we were monotheistic. We had one God and he loved it. It was so simple. Every day wasn't a different God with a different attitude like your wife.
Right.
He loved it. He created Islam around it. And then, of course, this cat right here brings Christianity over to Ireland. he tells Ireland, no more paganism, no more worshiping dogs and the sun and corn, and no more worshiping all those things. We're going to worship one God. We're going to bring this thing called Christianity over here. And he brought Christianity over to Ireland, and the snakes he kicked out were people who didn't agree with him.
Right.
There's some things about this man that makes me wonder his ethnicity. But all history I found so far says he's a white man. If he was an Israelite, he's still a sinner.
Colonel Khan. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 148, verse 14.
Yes.
He also exalteth the horn of his people.
Mhm.
The praise of all his saints.
The praise of what?
All his saints.
The praise of all his saints. He exalts the horn of his people. The praise of all his saints. The horn of his people. The yelling of his people. He exalts it. He lifts it up. He goes, this is great. Look at this. Admire this. He loves when you cry aloud. He loves it. You understand? He loves when we are chanting war songs, our war cries, blowing the trumpet. He loves these things. He exalts his saints. Is that Patrick? Is he exalting Patrick? He exalts his saints. I mean, we got to be out there popping Molly and sleeping with whores because he exalts his saints. So if that's what we're doing for Patrick's Day, then we got to go out there and do what they do on Patrick's Day. Unless you have a completely wrong understanding about what a saint is. Read on.
Colonel Khan. Even of the children of Israel.
Well, so read that again.
Even of the children of Israel.
No, read that last line again and then read.
Okay. The praise of all his saints.
The praise of all his saints, okay?
Even of the children of Israel.
Even of the children of Israel. The saints are the children of Israel, more precisely the men of Israel.
Right.
You understand? These are the saints, huh? These are the saints. So how the hell was Patrick a saint? How was Patrick ordained as Saint Patrick? Even today, they don't call him an Israelite. They don't call him a Jew. They don't do anything that vindicates him being called a saint, much like the St. Luke Church. What's all them saint churches?
St. Paul,
St. Mary, St. Paul,
St. Jude,
Saint.
No, at least they get Paul and Luke out of the Bible.
Saint
Jude,
St. Michael.
Michael is.
Michael,
I think they do that for the angel.
Saint
Michael.
Mary.
Saint Mary. No, that's Michael Luther. You're right. Saint Michael's Church. All of these pretend saints that they don't even claim are children of Israel. When the Bible clearly states he exalts his saints, the children of Israel.
Right.
If you are not a child of Israel, particularly a man, you cannot be a saint.
Right.
You cannot, of course, you found precepts for this all over the Bible where it specifies the men, where it specifies the saints do this and the saints do that, which are all manly duties. You understand?
Right. Con.
The saints are the men of Israel. You understand that?
Con.
So who is Patrick? Look at the paintings and the pictures of Patrick. Who's Patrick? It's impossible for him to be a saint. You are celebrating somebody that doesn't even fit the requirements to be called a saint. Give me Psalms 149 and 5.
Come.
Quickly. Start getting these verses quicker.
Come. Said 149.
149 and 5.
Stop.
Psalms 149 and 5. Might be 148.
It's like you, sir. This supposed to be a depiction of him.
Come.
Okay, I got it. 148 and 5.
Let me see. Hold on.
Let them praise.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
Yeah, Psalms 149 is right here. I was talking about.
It's been here. We gotta do it.
It's right here. It's right here.
Come. 195. Wow.
the book of Psalms, chapter 149, verse 5. Oh, Akim Adwan, got it?
Go. Make sure y'all follow along. Mama Sharp, you got to stand up for a second. Stand up. You know the routine. Splash some water on your face. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're staying up. Huh? Yeah.
Let the saints be joyful in glory.
Let the what?
Let the saints be joyful in glory.
Let the saints be joyful in glory. There's nothing glorious about you throwing up outside at 3 a.m.
Damn right.
There's nothing glorious about it. You want to know glory? Glory is that garment down to the foot with a golden girdle on. You understand? With a girdle that some woman spent days making.
Damn
Some
right.
tailor spent days in making. You understand?
Right.
Days. Oh, good night. If I tell you these goddamn belts you're going to see at the Passover, y'all know. YouTube don't know. These goddamn belts you're going to see at the Passover, the craftsmanship, the pure craftsmanship, the pure glory, the leather headbands that's going to be for purchase at the Passover.
Yes.
Do you see? This brother right here got the damn chains on right now. The gold chains we wear.
Right.
The silver we wear. Come on, please, man. The platinum we wear. The grills in our mouth. The grills in our mouth. The spinners on our cars. The hydraulics that make it go up and down. Glory. You think I'm being vain? The angels roll the same way.
Right. Right.
They roll the same way. It's in the Bible, and I can show you.
Right. Right.
You're supposed to be glorious, but instead you're throwing up at 3 a.m. outside the bar. That's not a saint. And that's damn sure not how you commemorate a saint. But it's okay. Because Patrick ain't a damn saint.
Right.
You understand? Patrick is Patrick. Right. He's the same as your boss name, Patrick. He's the same as your white co-worker, Patrick. He's the same as that goddamn star your kids watching that damn Nickelodeon. He's no greater than a cartoon. You understand that?
Right.
Damn right.
Read up.
Come. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
Let them sing aloud upon their beds. You have to, if you're going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, the least you can do is actually be as glorious as a saint was supposed to be. But you're not. You're doing this as an excuse for you to go out and be disgusting and be the complete opposite of what a saint is to the Lord.
Right. Right.
A saint to the Lord is glory personified. You understand that? Glory personified, and you're going out to the exact opposite of it. You're marrying the nation of Israel. When you get a wife, do you know that I have to call her sis? Adunya has to call her sister. Kashak has to say sister because we are one huge family.
Right.
You understand that? You understand that? The women you marry, your brothers have to call sister.
Right.
The women you marry, your camp leader has to answer her calls when she calls at 1 a.m. because you blocked her because she don't listen. You understand that? These are the women you marry. It matters, huh? And you're going out tonight, and you're going to marry a whore.
Right. Right.
It matters who you have sex with, but tonight you're going to marry a whore and say I was drunk. That's never acceptable to the Lord. All right. I was trying to look for a scripture, see if you had more in it.
That was on that.
Jeremiah 14:2.
Come.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, Salaki, read on. I'm tripping. That's why I'm thinking. Like, read the next verse. Yeah.
Come.
5 to 9. Read the next verse.
Come. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 149, verse 6.
I was wondering why I'm breaking it down. I'm like, that scripture just doesn't sound how I remembered it. That's because you ain't keep reading it.
Come. Verse 6. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth.
Let the high praises of God be in your mouth, not gin, tequila, and Hennessy.
Right.
Tennessee. Y'all in the club drinking Tennessee tonight. About to get all types of messed up. Come on, man. I know you know Marshawn Lynch. You know what he said? You know what he said the other day? He said, I drink Tennessee.
Yeah.
What the hell is Tennessee? He said, that's Patron and Hennessy. That's what they're going to be drinking tonight in the club, huh? And going to wake up blacked out, not remembering the night at all. Remembering nothing. 3 whores and a dog in the bed.
Good night.
Don't remember what happened. Get up.
Brothers, we gotta give our condolences to men that live like that, because that's not how I know my brother's gonna lead their life. So we give condolences, and hopefully one day they'll wake up. Because
Well, that's not condolences. You mean you pray for them?
we pray for them.
Yeah, of course. We always pray for them, and then we also make fun of their retarded decisions, brother. We also make fun of the fact that they walk past a UPK camp on the corner every damn Saturday and still decide to do St. Patrick's Day. You see the cases in the media of white women having sex with black men consensually and then changing their mind later and ruining their football careers.
Right.
Taking them out of college football and ruining what they could have had for their poor family in the ghetto. Because she's a slut.
Right.
And she regrets the decision she made because her hillbilly daddy came down on her and said, no, you better go to court and you better publicly make me look good by saying it was rape. You better do that. You better not live the rest of your life saying I consensually had sex with a black man. That's what her father tells her.
Right.
That's a shame to him in his town. It's a shame to her. She looks at it like a shame. Tonight she'll do it. And then you'll see a case on the news about some brother had sex with some white woman, and now he in court because it was rape. You understand? So yeah, brother, we pray for him. I pray that you look at everything around you and stop being a buffoon.
Right.
I pray that you forgive your father before you ever make a choice to celebrate a man named Patrick. I pray that you have that in your heart. And get the lust out of your heart to serve the white man so damn bad that you're celebrating this day, and go forgive your father.
Right.
That's what I pray. That's what I pray for those brothers to do.
Right.
That's what I pray for them to do. We think about those brothers all the time, huh? We think about those brothers all the time, and those brothers have a choice to make. They have a choice to make. When you see us on the corner, when you see us on the YouTube, when you see us in the flesh, a choice to make. Them brothers don't make that choice. I mean, this ain't the Christian church. Go ahead.
Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and the two-edged sword in their hand.
Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword. Either way it go, you're getting cut.
Damn
Right.
That's a saint. That's a saint. Either way you take this, you getting cut. You understand that? That's a saint. Either way this go, I'm cutting you.
Right.
That's a saint. Not a man who cannot control his impulses in a bar on a Friday in March and has a white wife because of it. Ends up in jail because of the white woman. That's not a two-edged sword. I mean, your tongue is useless. Lord knows you did to her with it, but it's useless to the Lord.
Verse 7. To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punish.
Read it again.
Come. Verse 7. To execute vengeance upon the heathen.
My sword has a hilt in the middle and blades on both edges to execute the heathen.
Right.
Brother, you should stop celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
Damn right.
The God you serve is every bit of fierce, every bit of a menace in the proper sense of the word.
Right.
He's every bit of somebody you don't want to cross. He is the type of God that looks at you and says, I wish you wasn't celebrating St. Patrick's Day, but since you are, take this jail sentence from a wrong cause. I'm going to let her lie and win.
Damn right.
I'm going to let her lie and win because you shouldn't have been doing it. I feel sorry. I feel bad. I don't want to do it to you. The Lord doesn't rejoice in that. That's why he sent Christ. You know, cattle was the equivalent of riches back then. You have all these animals. You're basically rich because you could sell them for so much money. Brother, when you sin, you just, you give a pigeon, or depending on what you do, 2 pigeons, a goat. The priest kill it. That was repentance for your sins back then, right? It was called animal sacrifice, right? He sent Christ because he didn't want that no more.
Mm.
He didn't want that. I don't want your money. I don't want your animals. I want you to stop.
Right.
Right.
You understand? I don't want you in jail. But I showed you all the damn news, all the cases on the news, and you just didn't care. So now you're going to jail. And maybe when you realize, maybe you'll sit for a little while and you'll get out when they find that it's a lie. That happens a little more often nowadays. Or maybe you'll get a sentence. No matter what happens, perhaps at the end of this, you'll learn to serve me. That's the God we serve, Rob.
Right.
That God does look at brothers and go, he does say, my saints, pray for them. Pray for your brothers and sisters. He does do that. And we pray for them because we know what our Father will do to them.
Right.
The same thing he did to us in the world. Same reason you thought you was going crazy before you found the I.S.U.P.K. Same way. The same damn way. Same thing he did to you, he's going to do to them. And you know that. And because of that, you pray for those brothers.
Right.
Right.
Pray for those sisters. But in reality, if they make the choice to continue down that path, you serve a terrible God.
Right.
It's like y'all want from me. I don't know the exact precept.
Matter of fact, let me finish your thought.
I don't know the exact precept, but isn't there a precept that says where the Most High says, "For I am the terrible"?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said that.
Thank God the terrible.
That's why I said that. He's the terrible God. He's the terrible power. I'm terrible. The things I do to you will make you have nightmares.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
He's terrible. Adanya?
Come. So I had a precept what you was talking about as far as the sacrifices of the Most High.
Yeah, please. I was thinking about it, but I didn't know if I wanted to pull it good.
Come. Psalms 51 and 17.
I got 5, same as 5. Y'all want to get that? Psalms 51 and 17.
What was that one?
Psalms 51 and 17.
You want that?
Give him a couple seconds. It's right here, Rock. It's the window right here, Rock.
I got it.
Somebody at the door?
Uh-huh.
Also, I'll go with him.
What happened?
It's fine. It should be fine. Nobody want to break in here, Rock.
No, they said you won't get it.
Don't nobody want to break in here, Rock.
Ain't nobody breaking in.
All right, that's it. I'm pretty sure the brothers is just hearing what's happening outside of this window right here. You know. Where's that brother from?
He's from Cali.
This is technically from Cali, sir.
But he's staying down in PA.
This is your cousin?
No,
Yes.
behind.
Somebody I met out there in PA. It's a brother I met out there in PA.
You get approval next time.
Sir.
But done. Continue.
Come, sir. There's another.
Let's go, Rakim.
There's another one that went with that Psalms 38 and 15, but 34 and 18 slide. But 51 and 17 right now.
Mhm.
The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, thou will not despise.
Think you the man in the world. I get all the girls, I get all the money, everybody's scared of me. I'm at the top of the rank on my job. I'm a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Look at my cars, look at how I ride, look at what I do. I like a broken spirit. I like exactly what my father like. I love when them come in here, you know what they do. Here's what they do. Let me show you. I'll show you. I love it. I love when they come in here. First thing. Yeah, Yeah. Just leg over this one. Oh, he comfortable. I like it. Yeah, because don't nobody love God like me. I love it.
Right.
Right.
I love it. You know why? You know why I love it? I love the moment when your spirit breaks. I love it. When you realize everything you thought about yourself is just fodder to the Lord.
Right.
It's nothing. It means nothing to the God of the Bible.
Right.
Nothing at all. He looks at you as nothing more than something to be broken and reshaped. That's it. You could come to him with money, fame, power, women, cars. What's he gonna say? But to break you.
Damn right.
That's right.
And he never fails. Never fails. He's a perfect God. He never fails. I love that.
Right.
That's one of my favorite things. When somebody comes in here big-headed and you just, the Lord just does that.
It's a lot.
Because the Lord is just trying to do this. To build you up to become a better man than you've ever been.
Right.
Right.
Damn right. Damn right.
Because in the world, we have to do that. In the world, you have to be that type of person. You have to. You can't be kind in the world. If you're kind, you get stepped on.
Damn right.
Yeah.
You can't, you got to go get all the women because you don't know how to deal with women. So the way you process it is, well, let me just go get them all. I don't really know how to deal with them appropriately. So I gotta just go get them all. You understand?
Cut them calm.
I mean, I don't like being poor, so it might be immoral the way I'm getting money, but I need money. The Lord will just break you. And he'll make you into something honorable.
Right.
Right.
It's a beautiful process. And I love witnessing it, and I love being a part of it.
God.
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 Chuck?
That's the walking through the fire, sir.
That is the walking through the fire.
That's considered walking through the fire.
Yes. Now everybody's gonna walk through the fire regardless. So that's not like yes, that's the walking through the fire. Everybody's walk is different. So when you're coming into the truth, your fire may be different.
Right.
Your wife might turn on you, your kids might treat you different. Somebody else might keep their wife and kids. You might lose your job, somebody else might not lose their job.
Right.
Right? You might have a hard time with your family, somebody else might not have a hard time with their family. You understand?
Right.
You got to battle your demons. He got to battle his demons. He has to deal with his situation. You got to deal with your situation. Every fire isn't exactly the same, which is why we are all different parts to the same body.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Yeah.
So the saying that is it levels to the fire that each individual walks through? Per se, like is it levels to it? Because you remember when I first came into the truth, I used to smoke weed and cigarettes, and I used to think that was the biggest demon I had to conquer because I was at a point where
Everybody thinks their demon is the biggest demon that you have to conquer. The problem is your will. That's your problem. I mean your problem. I mean the person that you'll be talking to. The problem is will. Do I want it enough to stop smoking? And for a long time you didn't.
Right.
Until you did.
Right.
Do I want it enough to stop celebrating holidays? Holidays. Do I want it enough to not have sex with any woman I want to? Do you know how, I ain't gonna say fun like that. Do you know how freeing it is to know that you can just stick and move in whatever you want with no repercussions or consequences? You feel free in your head. Like, oh man, I could just. Now, of course, when you come to look at these women as your sisters, when you come to understand that blacks and Hispanics have to come back to the Lord, and there's a greater purpose that we all should be fighting for, of course, it doesn't sit right with you at all.
Right.
But do you know in the world how it feels to be able to just stick and move, and not have to be tied down to her because she got all the body features and the facial features, but everything inside of her mind is terrible. She's a terrible. She would be a terrible wife for anybody.
Right.
Do you know how freeing it is to know that I could just have sex with this broad? You understand that? No, freeing that is. So I could just have sex with the broad.
Right.
It's very freeing. And make sure you ain't wandering around. Somebody make sure.
Not yourself.
At least you get approval. Say it off camera. Somebody pick up the scripture that was at.
Which scripture? I have
Whichever one we was reading just now. Pick up that scripture.
That was in Psalm 51 to 17. Sir.
Psalms what?
51 to 17.
that was it on
I
Psalms
don't
51.
want to go with that one.
I got Jeremiah
You
14
could
and 1.
keep the other one out. Psalms 51 was Tawab.
I got Jeremiah
Somebody
14 and 2.
Yeah, give me that.
Come on, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Judith mourneth.
Okay.
Come on. Judith mourning, and the gates thereof
This
languish.
is what we call all reliable. Right? Everybody know this one scripture. Jews are black. Oh no, Jews are mourning, they crying. We'll read the next lines. I skipped ahead.
Come on.
They're black.
They are black unto the ground.
Oh my God, the Jews are in mourning, they crying, the gates thereof language, meaning the people protecting their community are terrible at it. This is how you know Patrick was not a saint. And this is why you're not celebrated. For some people, for these people celebrating St. Patrick's Day all over the earth, if they truly wanted to celebrate a saint, I mean, they would be celebrating you.
Right.
They would celebrate you, but they don't want to celebrate you. You know why? You know what comes with being black in today's society? Nothing to celebrate. Nothing at all. What are you celebrating by being black to the other nations? If you were black and this Asian person wants to celebrate a saint, what about you would they celebrate? Is it the alcoholism? Would it be the gangs? Would it be the Christian church? Would it be hating your brother, hating your sister? Would it be the stripper pole? Would it be the pedophilia? What would it be? Now, of course, this same thing is prevalent inside of Patrick and his followers. But of course, they ignore it. And they look at you and they magnify everything wrong you do because they know you are the chosen children of God.
Damn right.
So even they look at you with a different disgust. The European president stood up in that damn meeting in 42 and said, y'all are not the real Jews because you left black and came back white. To the Jews that was inside of that land. He did not respect the fact that they were pretending to be somebody else. And other nations don't respect the fact that you are bowing the knee to the white man.
Right.
They don't respect it. They look at you and they know your history and they're looking at you like, it's in Judith, where the Ammonite servant came back and told the king, hey, look, I'm going to tell you straight up. If they are serving, it's Judith 5 and 20, if any of y'all need it, y'all got to pull it. If they're serving God, don't go to war with them. We're going to lose.
Right.
If they're sinning, however, let's go to war with them right now. We're going to win. They know the power you hold. And knowing what terrible power you serve and how righteous you used to be, they're looking at you right now like, look at them popping Molly in the bar. Just disgusting. They're not looking at you joining hands and happy and singing with you. They're looking at you like, this is terrible. This is terrible. Yeah, we could drink together, sure. And in my head, the entire time, I'm just looking at you how nasty you are. That white people doing the same thing. You would really sleep with me, knowing what my people did to your people.
Right.
Dang.
Right.
Hey, come on, come sleep with me. And she was shaking her head when she wake up first. You a disgusting bastard. They did it to Martin Luther King.
Right.
They did it to Martin Luther King. They convinced Martin Luther King, hey, join the white, yeah. I can't believe this. Listen to us. I can't It's documented. These are FBI documents. Yeah, we infiltrated this movement. Yeah, we put the word in his ear to do this and do that. Yeah, we helped them along. But we hate a traitor.
Right.
I mean, you could have told us no. We're going to do that because we are the devil on earth.
Yeah, right.
We're going to get in your ear and lie. You could have said no. I mean, damn, man, come on.
Okay.
They hold you to a higher standard than they hold themselves.
Right.
Right.
The world looks at you, and that's why you always the topic on earth. They look at you and go, this is nasty, man. This is disgusting. And they mock you. They were so great. Aren't they so great? Children of God, Israelites, gold and rubies and this and that. Oh, they were so huge kingdom. I wanted to look at them now. And you are mocking throughout the community. You are mocking throughout the earth. The real saints are destitute. The real saints, nobody wants to act like them. Nobody wants to celebrate them. And that's how you know you're the saints.
Right.
Nobody wants to act. Your gates languish.
Right.
Last I checked, the Irish have Ireland.
Right.
The saints, I mean, you're on the floor crying. Nobody wants to celebrate Tawi. That's just you in the hood lighting candles. Just you. There's nobody else. You understand?
You're right.
There's nobody else doing that. It's you. I don't see when your friend dies, I don't see all the Asians in the community coming out going, Tawi died? I can't stomach this. Not Tawi.
Right.
It's just you. It's just you and the other 5 or 6 that he knew. I don't know if he's one of them cats. It's you in the hood. That's it. You and the other blacks and Hispanics in the hood get around those damn candles and let those damn balloons go and place them teddy bears there.
Right.
Psalm 79 and 2. Psalm 79 and 2. You gotta wrap this up. 5 minutes. Hakim, y'all are not hearing anything. Please. There's a window open. I don't need that. I said you can have it for yourself, but I don't need it.
I have it, sir.
Make it so.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 79,
Appreciate it.
verse 2.
Good.
The dead bodies of thy saints have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heavens.
Tyree was a saint. Lil John was a saint. Man was a saint. You understand? Those are the saints. The brother that gets shot in his head and the police. Man, brothers, let me tell y'all something. When I used to drive Uber, man, you know, I had somebody take a Uber to a dead body. That was a saint. On the floor. The whole hood was outside staring at this man's body. Because some other young saints ran up on him and shot him in his head and ran off. And they stared at his body. And the police was out there and they didn't pick him up immediately. No. That body stayed up there for a little bit. He got shot in his head way before I ever got called for the Uber. That's why they called for the Uber. Word got around and all that before they called me. Called me, I come get him. I drop him off at the body. I hung out for about a good 15 minutes and the body still ain't moved. The kid's body was on the ground for at least an hour.
Hey.
Read it again.
Khan. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 2. The dead bodies of thy saints have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heaven.
Patrick's offspring's dead body is not given up to the fowls in the heaven. It's not that. That brother who they found dismembered in, what is that, Mississippi?
Constant.
That's not Patrick's offspring. That's the brothers of Jesus Christ. You understand that?
Right.
Those are the brothers of YAHANNA. That was a black man. Patrick's offspring, little white men aren't in the hood getting, dropped. Getting dropped and having the entire neighborhood stand around mourning. Nobody wants to imitate the real saints. The real saints of the Bible have drugs, guns, and gangs right now. But they would like you to believe that St. Patrick is a saint. Brother, if you were going out there celebrating St. Patrick, you don't care about the hood. You don't care. There's young brothers and sisters and old brothers and sisters that need you in the ghetto.
Right.
Right.
And you were going out to get drunk at a bar for some whores, for some vagina. You can't love your people.
Right.
Read on.
Khan. The flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the earth.
The flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of that brother who got his body chopped in Mississippi. I wonder what those wild animals nibbled at before they found him. And just so you know what Patrick's offsprings did when he found his body? They said it was no foul play involved. Well, that just solves it. He offed himself and cut himself up. Said there was no foul play involved. Literally impossible. No foul play. That's Patrick's offspring. You were dismembered in Mississippi. Patrick's offspring came down and said, ain't nothing happened here. Understand? He looked at his, nah, nothing happened. Get out real quick.
I didn't even know today was Pastor Day.
I mean, I didn't know that. I woke up and I saw a big green hat on some man's head outside. I said, "Oh, this must be that. This must be that. Let me come here and destroy Patrick." I saw a shamrock and a tall green hat. I said, "Okay, all right, it's whore day."
Right.
Right.
Give me Romans 9:1, and we're gonna wrap this up after this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 1. I say the truth in Christ. I lie not.
Everything he says is about to be true, just like the rest of this Bible. He said this because this is going to be hard to believe, because this is ingrained into the Christian faith and ingrained into everybody that's going to go out tonight and be whores. This is their thought process. Go ahead.
My conscience also bearing me witness and the Holy Ghost.
Go ahead.
Verse 2, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
Go ahead.
Verse 3, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren.
I wish that I could take all the pain and suffering and curses for all of Israel. I wish that I could take all of it onto me, because that's how much I love my people. That's what Paul is saying. Go ahead.
My kinsmen.
That alone is foreign to Christians. That alone. Go into the Christian church and say, Pastor Mike, I need help with my light bill. Or Sister Mary, better figure that out. Pastor, I pay my tithes and I helped get them benches fixed last year. Yeah, but church ain't got it right now. He got a car note to pay, insurance. His wife needs some new earrings. He ain't got $75 for Sister Mary. Go ahead. Let alone would he take on the curses that Sister Mary has on her. Go ahead.
My kinsman, according to the flesh.
My kinsman, according to the flesh. Paul is a saint.
Damn right.
They literally have a church called what? St. Paul's Church.
Right.
They try to ordain him as a saint. Even the white man tries to tell you he's a saint. And he said, what? My kinsman according to what?
The flesh.
You're my brother if you bleed the same blood that I bleed. If you're black or Hispanic like I am.
Damn right.
Right.
That's what Paul said. Paul ain't say that you could go into a country and convert people to Christianity.
Right.
And now they're all brothers and sisters. Paul said, you're my brother if you have the same blood running through your veins that I do, which is royal blood. One second. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Who are Israelites?
Who are Israelites? Paul, he made it even further clear. Only my family are saints. Oh, anybody could be his family. Who are Israelites? Christ died for the world, so the world is his family. He said what?
Who are
He
Israelites?
said, let me clarify this real quick because I know based on the problems that we have now while I'm alive, this can't possibly get worse. It can only get better. It can possibly get better. It won't get worse in the future.
Right.
So if they saying this now, imagine what they're going to say in 2023.
Right.
Let me clarify myself. My kinsman according to the flesh. Yeah, see, Paul was white, so he's talking about St. Patrick. Who are Israelites? That's the double-edged sword. Either way you go, you're getting cut.
Right.
Go ahead.
Who are Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption?
See, they adopted white people. No, this is so that all Israel was able to come back because Christ died for us.
Right.
The Lord grafted us back in because he was done with us. To Israelites pertain the adoption. We are the ones who was brought in by Jesus Christ because the Lord was done with us. Read the Bible and learn, Christians. The Lord was done with the Israelites, and then he said, I will give my son. And he said, you can come back.
Right.
Right.
He didn't say the earth can come with you. He said, you can come back. Because he says there will be no contradiction in the Bible unless the whole Bible's wrong. You understand? Not one thing in this Bible shall be wrong. Not one jot, not one tittle shall pass from this Bible.
Right.
Until heaven and earth pass away.
Right.
Last I checked out, we in New Jersey on earth. Go ahead.
And the glory. And the covenants. And the giving of the law.
The glory and the covenants and the giving of the law. Everything goes to Israelites. Go ahead. What verse you on?
Verse 4, the bottom of verse 4.
Good.
And the service of God. And the promises.
Only you can serve God. The service of God is reserved for people who are related to Paul, who are the Israelites.
Right.
Last I checked, St. Patrick was not that.
Right.
And everybody who he tried to graft into Christianity in Ireland was not that. You understand? Irish are not black. Just because you got dark-skinned Irish. Listen, please stop this. I've been seeing this online a lot. Because somebody is dark-skinned does not mean that they are a Negro, a West Indian, a Haitian, a Native American. Just because someone is dark-skinned does not mean that they're those things. It doesn't mean that. Dark-skinned Asians are not us. I just saw a picture earlier today with some dark-skinned Chinese people, and some cat quoted it talking about some, yeah, man, we was even the first man here, first man everywhere. You were not the dark Chinese. You're not the dark Arab. You're not the dark Indian. You're not. You are the Negro that nobody likes. Please get that in your head. You are not related to dark-skinned heathens.
Right.
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 Read on.
Come, verse 5. Who are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
Concerning the flesh, Christ came. And Christ came for those people concerning the flesh. Meaning, all that stuff I'm saying is backed up by Christ, because he also came for the people who shared his blood, not the earth.
Right.
He came for those people. So even if you be like, well, Paul ain't Christ, so he ain't got the power to say that. Even Christ came for the people of his blood.
Right.
St. Patrick's Day is a big old sin. You're going to pop Molly and drink Molly water until you know I'm out of touch, because I only know Molly, Supermans, and ecstasies and stuff like that. Y'all taking all types of garbage. You are going to go pop pills and drink yourself into a pit. And you're going to wake up tomorrow with regrets or a new case. And you'll be dead, or you'll have a mugshot. You know what I wake up? You know what I mean? I'll just wake up. I'm just going to wake up. You're going to wake up with a mugshot. I'll just wake up. You understand? And when Passover comes, you know, I'll just wake up glowing.
Right. Right.
You understand?
Right.
Passover, April 1st, down in Raleigh, North Carolina. Feast of Unleavened Bread, April 2nd, down in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pay in advance, get your tickets online, book your hotels. You should have been did that, been mentioning that. Come eat and drink with the priests and the prophets. Come get fly. Come see how you're supposed to act around liquor and things like that. And that's it. Questions, comments? Sure. Well, I'll call